I'm here with Adam Hannett, head distiller at Bruichladdich Distillery, to talk about Port Charlotte 10-year-old. It was named number 4 on the 2018 Top 20 list. Adam, this was a new whiskey in 2018, something that I believe you spent some time developing after Port Charlotte had been a brand with just limited releases, but this is now permanently available.
Yeah, the Port Charlotte 10 is it's a kind of a culmination of a lot of work we've done with Port Charlotte over the years. And I think if we take ourselves back to when we first started making Port Charlotte, we didn't really know what to expect. You know, 2001, it's a brand new whiskey. And over the years, we've seen it develop into something that is just, you know, more than we could ever expected it to be. It's a stunning example of a really, you know, heavily peated Islay whiskey. And as we've seen this kind of evolution and watched that spirit grow, we had this great opportunity to give Port Charlotte its own identity, you know, not just be the peated Bruichladdich. So I had a really amazing time going through the stocks over the last few years and, you know, coming up with what we want Port Charlotte to be. And the 10-year-old expression was basically the best way of expressing all the things that Port Charlotte is in a whiskey. So it's a real honour to be able to come and taste it here with you and let everyone taste all the work that we've put in over the last few years.
Well, we were very impressed when we tasted this for the top 20. It was all blind. Nobody knew what was, you know, in the running, but everyone agreed this was one of the best whiskeys that we had tasted. We gave it 93 points, as you know. Yeah. And some of the things that really stood out to us, in addition to being heavily peated, of course, was that it just has this rich, fruity character on the nose and on the palate. Where do those flavors and aromas come from?
Well, I mean, there's a little combination of kind of all of the philosophies and all the things we actually do. So when we think about the fruit in there, I mean, this is a really heavily peated whiskey. You know, it's 40 parts per million, so it's a proper, you know, Islay style. But when we distill at Bruichladdich, we distill really slowly. Our stills are very tall and thin, and we get this lovely elegant spirit. So we get a very fruity, floral style, and that still comes through. After 10 years, the peat doesn't overpower that. And this is the lovely thing about Port Charlotte. That heavy peat is balanced really nicely. 10 years in the casks, and they are excellent quality casks. You know, a lot of first fill bourbon, a little bit of second fill bourbon, some second fill ex-wine cask as well to give a little bit of that fruit, to get a little bit of that structure, that oak, and it just holds everything really nicely. So you've got a lovely balance from the fruit, from the distillation, from the casks, and the peat smoke is, I mean, it's just so well balanced. It's not overpowering. It's a lovely dry peat smoke, not oily, medicinal. It's a lovely kind of, I think it's a very accessible style of whiskey. I think it's you know, gentle, but there's a lot of depth there. I think that's really the key to making this, you know, so well.
Well, let's taste it. It's just like you said, the balance of the dry peat with the fruitiness, and I think perhaps some of that is wine cask influence, but some of it came right out of the still as well. You know, it's really well integrated throughout.
The amazing thing for me, and it gets me every time when you taste that, is the softness of that texture. The way that just, you know, it's really viscous. You know, it's got a lovely oily texture. There's nothing aggressive in there. It's just really soft, and it's, for me, on a Friday night, you know, when you kind of finish work, the kids are in bed, and you pour a dram of this, that's the weekend. You know, you can relax when you get that lovely soft texture on the palate.
Couldn't agree more. Yeah. And this was the second year in a row that Bruichladdich has had a whiskey in our top 20. In 2017, the 2010 Islay Barley also was ranked on the list. And we had Port Charlotte in 2018. Are you going to come up with something new to wow us in 2019?
For us to try and make a whiskey in a consistent style all the time, make it taste the same all the time, that's not really expressing, you know, who we are and where we're from, and, you know, the soil, the barley, the terroir. That we, you know, really think is important in making a whiskey. So yeah, there's going to be lots of new things all the time, and that's the beauty of what we do. That again, nature is giving us different things with barley every year. There's always going to be new expressions, and there's always going to be things. Again, for us, Islay, you know, where we're from, who we are. I think that comes through by, you know, by making whiskies like this, where we don't force it to be what we think it should be. We allow it to be what it is.
I think that means we have a lot to look forward to then.
Yeah, hopefully so. Hopefully so, yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Adam. It's been a pleasure talking with you and tasting your whiskey.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Cheers.